The sneaker resale market is worth over $10 billion. And at the center of all of it is Nike, the same brand that claims to fight bots, enforce fairness, and support the everyday sneakerhead. But this same company might be fueling the very own hypebeast economy that it claims to be combating against. Leaked emails, executive scandals, and artificial scarcity. This is the story of how Nike is secretly controlling the resale market, but also shattered it. And in the end, they're still winning. What's up, guys? Welcome back. Another video every Wednesday, every Sunday. I told you guys I'll be here. For those of you who don't know, my name is Chance and I do pop culture content, and I'm on the road to 1 million subscribers. So if you haven't already, drop a like, comment, hit the subscribe button. And if you have any stories you want me to cover, make sure you leave them in the comments. And that being said, buckle up and let's get into it, baby. So let's start with the basics. The sneaker resale market thrives off one thing, and that's supply and demand. Nike releases exclusive drops, like Travis Scott Jordans, Off-White collabs, but only in very, very small quantities. And like you may have guessed, they sell out in seconds, just to pop up on resale platforms for 5 to 10 times the price. And this is a perfect system for resellers, at least. But here's the real question. Why doesn't Nike just make more shoes? Nike could just flood the market and stop these resellers overnight, but they don't, and it's not by accident. It's a strategy used by plenty of other brands, and it's called artificial scarcity. They intentionally limit the supply to boost hype and demand. And it's pretty much like free marketing. And Nike pretty much made sneakers feel exclusive. Nike sneakers were no longer just a pair of shoes, they were an asset, an investment, or more so, a cultural currency. And that hype turns into headlines, TikTok niches, social media buzz, and they do all this without spending a dime. They're actually losing a little bit more money because they could produce more, but they don't. Even if Nike doesn't directly profit off the resale, they still win. And here's something that a lot of people don't realize, and that is Nike has quiet relations with these resale platforms. Like in 2020, Nike partnered with Stadium Goods to release a product directly on their platform. And Stadium Goods is a resale platform. And they've also worked with Goat and Foot Locker, which are investors into this resale platform. And this begins to blur the line between retail and resale. When Nike collaborates with companies that profit off of resale, it raises the question of, is the resale market really independent, or is Nike just playing both sides? Just let me explain on this one. So in 2021, a scandal blew up that gave the world a rare access behind Nike's curtain. And it all came down to one woman, Ann Hebert, Nike's vice president and general manager for North America. And she was actually forced to resign after her son exposed Nike. So the article was about a kid named Joe Hebert. And Joe was running a massive sneaker resale business that he called West Coast Streetwear. And here he flipped exclusive Nike drops using bots. And on this article and his social media pages, he was flexing hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of exclusive Jordans. But the kicker was, he was using his mom's Nike corporate credit card to fund his business. And that was proven, but it wasn't proven how he was able to get his hands on so many pairs of these. Was he using his mom's discount? Was Nike backdooring and giving this kid access to hundreds of thousands of pairs of these Jordans? That was all speculation on how he got them, but it was confirmed that he was using his mom's credit card. But Nike claimed that his mom, Nike's vice president and general manager of North America, she didn't do anything wrong. They claimed that she didn't violate any company policy. But after this, their secret was out. Insiders have access and they're cashing in. And during this time, sneakers were at their peak. And Nike was constantly promoting this sneakers app. And this was supposedly a fair chance for everybody. But many of us sneakerheads, everybody knows like this is kind of a joke. Like the drops sell out instantly, bots win over and over, and loyal fans are left empty-handed just about every single time. I mean, this is a funny story. Back on these shattered backboard Jordan 1 3.0s, it's like the real glossy pair, the orange and black pair. I actually made 2 different Nike accounts on my same phone, and I tried to go with them on both, and I got permanently banned on both accounts. I thought I was slick. I got like 2 chances instead of 1 to get this shoe, but they caught me. But what they don't seem to catch is these resellers that get literally 500 pairs off the sneakers app. And no, I'm not kidding. Even Nike insiders admitted that this system was broken. In a very rare interview, sneakers execs admitted to a small fraction of users that actually ever win, and that the bot protection is pretty much a joke. Meanwhile, resellers keep winning. Now, does this seem like a coincidence or a part of a strategy? And in 2020 to 2021, the resale market peaked. It was at an all-time high. Sneaker resellers were earning more than your average day job. SneakerCon was at its full peak. And people were buying shoes like stocks. Jordans, Nike Dunks, Yeezys, everything that came out from Nike sold out immediately. And then at the peak, Nike pulled the rug and cashed in heavy. Then they started oversaturating these releases. They started re-releasing these Grail sneakers over and over. They pushed way too many collabs, and then on top of these hype collabs, they would drop their own GR releases, general releases, of sneakers that looked just like the hype releases, but at a fraction of the cost. They literally killed their own brand, and they killed their scarcity. And the resale bubble burst, all Jordans were sitting on shelves now, and hype pairs started hitting outlets like Ross and Nike outlets, and these resellers were pretty much left with nothing. But you would think that Nike lost, right? Like they killed their own hype, their stock plummeted, like reselling and sneakers and this whole Nike hype was dead, right? You, in fact, were wrong. Nike didn't lose. Nike just shifted to direct to consumer. Sneakers, Nike.com, the Nike app, they started doing a whole lot less of boutiques, not as much drops at like Foot Locker or Champs or anything like that. You had to buy it straight from Nike. And this pretty much eliminated the resellers. Pretty much Nike used resellers to build their brand for free and then cut them out when it was most convenient and when they could also cash in the most. More profit, more control, and less chaos for them. And Nike doesn't need the resale market anymore because they already mined it dry. Like it's already cooked, it's done. And they milked it for like every last dollar. And that's where you get this whole narrative of recently people have been talking about, oh, the sneaker market's crashed, it's tanked, it's horrible. But I honestly think Nike is starting to build it back up currently. Like it's been crashed for a while. Like for the past year or two, nothing has been reselling. Nothing has been like worth buying to like flip or profit. But I think recently in this past like month or two, Nike is slowly starting to build this back up again. Like with the Jordan 4 white cements dropping, like people are reselling those now. But I feel like now people have caught on to Nike's whole scheme. So I'm anxious to see where this will go again. It went all the way up and then Nike crashed it on purpose. And I think they're slowly starting to build it again, but they're going to have to do it different this time. But this is a story of how Nike created hype and weaponized their own scarcity. They let insiders profit while also partnering with resellers. And then they crashed their whole system and profited more than ever. And this is the exact story of how Nike controls the entire resale market. And that pretty much concludes today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. This one was pretty in-depth. I feel like I did a lot of research on this one, and this one kind of took me a while to kind of like curate together. But anyways, I told you guys every Wednesday, every Sunday, you know, I'm back twice a week. Sometimes it gets hard. So if you haven't already, drop a comment of anything you want me to cover. And I'm here for you guys, and I love you guys. Even if my videos don't perform as well as I'd like them to, sometimes they absolutely tank. But I'm still thankful of the people that stick around, regardless of if they like the video or they're curious or they just watch everyone just because it's my video. So I love those people that are like my little diehard fan base. I love you guys. And thank you to everybody who stuck around to the end of the video. And if you guys haven't already, follow my Instagram right here. I try to post on there every day, like stories like these, like all the stories that don't really make the cut for YouTube or I can't curate into like a 10-minute video. Those go on my Instagram reels and my TikTok every day. So if you haven't already, follow those. And that being said, I love you guys so much. And we will see you on either Wednesday or Sunday. I don't even know when I'm recording this. So we'll see when this one ends up being placed in the algorithm. But anyways, peace out. I love you guys.